All right, everyone, settle in. We're diving deep today. All right, everyone, settle in. We're diving deep today. We're looking at the shadow history of everything we thought we knew about civilization.
And honestly, after that morning yoga session, my nervous system is wide open for some, let's call it subversive truths.
Subversive is one way to put it. I'm just here for the drama and the goats. There are a lot of goats in this book.
If there isn't a single piece of evidence that suggests the Crusades were actually a massive occult marketing campaign, I'm going to be disappointed.
Well, Jane, you might be in luck. We're picking up in a passage that argues exactly that. Look at this first claim. The authors suggest that Luciferian Gnosis didn't just appear in Europe. It was imported. They trace it back to these wandering groups in the Middle East, called the cult of the two-horned.
Wait, cults of the wounded?
Yeah, look how he phrases this. They supposedly consecrated themselves through the infliction of wounds, leaving scars that look like the devil's mark on medieval witches. They even had a ritual knife called Aldama the Bloodshedder.
Okay, that's a bit heavy for a Tuesday. But it fits that pattern we's talking about, right? This idea that the forbidden isn't just random violence, but a structured, ritualized way of marking identity.
It's efficient. You want to belong to a secret group? Carve the membership card into your skin. Brutal.
And it gets weirder. They describe these ceremonies dancing in circles, drumming, reading Muslim prayers backwards to summon this figure, El Aswad, the black man, whose staff had 2 bronze horns.
Backwards prayers? That is so visceral. It's like they were literally trying to unmake reality to find what was underneath.
It reminds me of that bit from earlier in the book about the Dark Bull, this idea of using chaos to dissolve boundaries. You aren't just praying to a god, you're trying to break the container of your own mind.
Exactly. And the authors link this directly to the Maghreb the Atlas Mountains in Morocco. They talk about these blue-eyed Berbers who followed a leader called Tubal Cain, the two-horned lord. And get this, he's a lord of 2 centuries. He manifests on Earth for 100 years, then stays as a spirit mentor for the next 100.
Great. A revolving door of divine dictators, just what the world needs.
So the authors are claiming that the dark magic of the medieval witch wasn't some local superstition, but actually a sophisticated survival of Middle Eastern mystery schools brought to Europe by the Moors and the Crusaders.
That changes the whole vibe of the Middle Ages. It's a massive, accidental exchange of forbidden sexual magic and Luciferian teachings.
It's a wild claim, but they back it up with Liddell Hart and others, saying these Saracen mystery schools provided the actual technical toolkit for European witchcraft.
It's a hidden in plain sight move. The conquerors brought the secrets they were trying to suppress.
And it leads us right into this incredible piece of evidence they found. They talk about a specific object, a wooden head of the deity, Atu, made of oak with silver-covered bull horns. It was owned by an antique dealer and linked to some very old-school English witchcraft.
Oh, I love the imagery here. The horns decorated with zodiac sigils, a pentagram on the nose. It sounds like a cosmic map wrapped in bone and wood.
It sounds like something I'd find in a very creepy corner of a 100% thrift store. But look at the connections the authors are making. They link this bullhead to Asmodeus the demon from the Testament of Solomon, and even to the lineage of Tubal Cain.
Right. They're connecting the dots from Persian deva worship to the Jewish concept of Asmodeus, and finally to the black bull of the Roman Saturnalia. It's all one continuous underground stream of star wisdom.
It's all everything is connected, isn't it? The blacksmiths, the stars, the demons.
It is, but then the book shifts gears almost like a sudden change in frequency to chapter 12, the art of Hermes.
Ah, the great mediator.
Precisely. They move from the primal heavy imagery of the bull and the blood-scarred skin to Hermes Trismegistus, but they don't present him as this polished academic figure. They go back to the roots to the Herms, these primitive phallic stones at crossroads where people left cheese and wine.
So before he was a god of diplomacy and communication, he was basically a roadside vending machine for travelers.
Which, honestly, is a much more relatable version of a deity.
But notice the thread here. The authors argue that this natura magica, this natural magic involving plants, stones, and talismans, is the actual inheritance of humanity from the fallen angels.
So the knowledge isn't just a gift. It's a leftover, a fragment of a broken connection.
Exactly. Whether it's the black man in the desert or the messenger at the crossroads, the book is building this case that our entire spiritual architecture is built on the ruins of much older, much more dangerous truths. So, we've moved from the raw, bloody ritual of the two-horned cult to something much more elegant. But don't let the elegance fool you. The authors are still looking at the architecture of power.
They're looking at the caduceus, the staff.
Exactly. He says the staff, or the herm, could be a speaking wand, passed around in the circle so everyone could be heard. but then he pivots to the esoteric side. He describes the caduceus as the very symbol of Hermes' androgynous nature. Two snakes winding around the rod representing solar and lunar energies.
Or if you're feeling a bit more New Age today, Kundalini energy rising up the spine.
Precisely. He actually goes so far as to say the staff is the human spinal column. It delivers this serpentine or dragon force straight to the brain to activate the third eye.
Of course, because why just have a headache when you can have a dragon-induced spiritual awakening?
But look at the claim he makes about the third eye here. He says in the Luciferian tradition, the third eye is an emerald stone that literally fell from the forehead of Lucifer.
Oh, that is intense. So it's a metaphor for perception and a physical celestial fragment of a fallen deity?
Yeah, and he links it to the mark of Cain, which those involved in the blood of witches supposedly carry astrally. It ties back to that earlier point about the mark being a way to identify the initiated.
It's like a cosmic DNA test. You see the emerald flash, you know they're part of the lineage.
It's also incredibly convenient for building an elite club. You're in, because you have the fallen debris of a star on your forehead.
But then, the text tries to ground this in history. He moves to the Greeks. He says they looked at Egypt and saw Thoth. They basically rebranded the Egyptian god of wisdom as Hermes.
And they claim he gave the Egyptians their laws and letters.
Right. And he brings in Lactantius, a 4th century Christian, to say that Hermes Thoth was thrice-great because he mastered all knowledge. He even suggests the books of Thoth, which include the tarot, might have been a later occult invention. But the idea of him as the architect of science is ancient.
Wait, so the authors are saying the very foundation of mathematics, astronomy, and writing isn't just human progress? It's a legacy handed down by this one thrice-great figure?
That's the thesis. And it gets even more shadow history when he mentions the Egyptian connection. He claims Thoth was there before the famous gods Osiris and Isis. He was there alongside the Bennu bird, the Egyptian phoenix.
I love that. A god so old he predates the entire pantheon.
It's a classic move. If you want your ideas to seem legitimate, just claim they're older than the religion you're trying to replace.
But look at the Hermeticus section. This is where it gets heavy. He brings in the emerald tablet. As above, so below. The macrocosm and the microcosm.
A cheat code for magic. If you can change the small thing, you change the big thing.
But he says the tablet wasn't just a random poem. He claims it was based on the pillars of Sif, Enoch, Noah, and Tubal Cain found in a cave.
Which brings us back to that lineage of forbidden builders. And then, the authors drop this bombshell about the contents of a universe. They say Hermes claimed to have 36,535 scrolls of secret knowledge, hidden away in a secret chamber, or perhaps under the Sphinx.
Naturally, hidden under the Sphinx, because why would anyone just publish a paper in a peer-reviewed journal?
Right? I have the secrets to the universe, but they're currently buried under 6 million tons of limestone. Check back in a few centuries.
But it's more than hiding books. It's about the nature of the creator. He quotes the Corpus Hermeticum saying God is hidden, but obvious in all things. It's pantheistic.
But then he adds that Gnostic twist. The idea of the logos, the word, emerging from the darkness.
And here's the kicker. He brings in this figure, Polymondra's, who appears in a dream to instruct Hermes. He says the key to everything is, know thyself and thou shalt know the gods.
Know thyself. It sounds so simple, but in this context, it's actually terrifying.
Because the next paragraph, it claims that knowing thyself means realizing you aren't just a human. He says Adam was more than human, part of a race of star demons.
Okay, so we're talking about a total rewrite of human biology.
Exactly. He claims the fall wasn't a moral failure in a garden, but a literal transition from a non-physical, ray-like race into the material world. The fall was the descent from spirit into matter.
So the Adam and Eve we know, they're just the leftovers of a cosmic accident?
That's the author's claim. The Raymen mated with primitive humans, creating titans. And Lucifer? He wasn't just a rebel, he was the angel of intellect who got kicked out because he interfered with this biological process.
It makes the whole Luciferian concept so much more structural. It's not about being evil, it's about the impulse of intelligence trying to navigate a fallen material world.
It's a lot of heavy lifting for one chapter, but it certainly explains why the establishment would want to burn these books. If you believe you're a star demon in a human suit, you're a lot harder to control than if you just think you're a sinner. My brain is officially fried from the cosmic biology lesson.
Fair enough. Let's take 5 and grab some water.